Silver's $1.50 away from $60. As I'm speaking now, silver is like $58.50, which is, it's gone up an enormous amount. I mean, they're trying to defend 50, the manipulators, the criminals. They were trying to do whatever they could to keep the price at $50 per ounce, because they knew that was the top of the teacup. What am I talking about? Cup and handle formation. 1979, 1980, it drew this side of the cup, and then it drew a nice cup. 2011, because January the 1st, 1980, it went to $50, and it drew a nice cup for decades. 2011, it drew the other side of the cup, $50 again. May the 1st, 2011, it smacked it down, and it drew a nice handle. And now it's just got up to 50. 2025, blast off. It's almost $10 above that now. So that's it now. There's no overhead resistance. The overhead resistance was the top of the cup. We've blasted through the overhead resistance. Sky's the limit. Nothing but blue skies. There's no way to tell. I'm looking for like $75, $80, $100. There's no way to tell. It could be $100 early next year. It could well be. But don't forget, the manipulation hasn't ended. The manipulators can set the price of silver wherever they choose to. It's not a freely traded market. Supply demand of silver has got nothing to do with price in this manipulated market. They could set the price to -40 if they wanted to, just like they did with oil. If you're not familiar with what I'm saying, you might be thinking, what did he just say? That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Yes, it probably is. But the manipulators did set the price of oil to -40. They just have to, they decide the price. They have a meeting, we're going to put it at this price, and they type in -40, boom, let the algorithms run. High frequency trading, buying and selling, very high frequency, huge amounts in a very short amount of time to set the price where they want it to. And they set the price of oil to -$40 per barrel. I would like to buy 1 billion barrels of oil at -40. Give me 1 billion barrels of oil and $40 billion, please. How ridiculous is that? But that is the absurdity of the temporary system that we're in. So they could set the price of silver to -$40. They're losing control. They're losing control. But they could do that. But of course, if they do that, that would end the game. Then everyone would just laugh at that price and we'd all be queuing up. At the moment, there's 5-hour queues to buy silver in places around the world. If they put a lower price in, if they knock the price down, it'll be 10-hour queues to buy silver. Everybody will be ringing their uncle and their aunt, you know, in Asia, in these little villages. They've contacted them and they're saying, you should go and buy silver. It's really cheap now. If they knock the price down, you're going to have masses of people who come into the city to buy silver and queuing up. They'll be selling the pig, selling the chickens, you know, I'm talking about all these places around the world, developing nations. But now the developed nations, the Western countries, and the people are waking up. The people are going to try and buy silver. Demand is way outstripping supply. If the manipulators push the price down, then demand will increase. Of course, everybody will go and queue up to buy silver. So they're letting it go up. They're hoping to tamp down demand. If they let it go to $60, $70, $80, maybe there'll be less of a queue. Only a few people will be going to buy silver. That's what they're hoping. But of course it doesn't work like that. It's got momentum. The momentum traders are in. You know, when you see, it wasn't long ago silver was 30. And then it went to 40. Now it's 50. Soon it will be 60. It's got momentum. I think letting the price go up, the manipulators put in a higher price, that is going to make the queues to buy silver even longer. This is a very exciting time. And at the same time, this COP 2030 meeting is going on in South America. Prince William came up there and all these big talking heads are saying, we've got to do, this is the largest transition that humanity's ever seen. A transition away from fossil fuels. They want to stop fossil fuels, coal power stations, oil power stations, natural gas power stations, stop shale. They want to transition away from that. They want to stop all those things and go over to clean, renewable, solar, nuclear, wind, hydroelectric. They want to go over to these clean, sustainable, renewable. Where's the silver going to come from? The demand is there for solar panels. China in 2025 has made 1 terawatt of solar panels. That's roughly the figures we'll get at the end of the year now, once we hear the final figures. But if they carry on every month, November, December, when we get those figures, it'll look like about 1 terawatt. That is eaten up half of mine's supply. Incidentally, mine's supply is less than forecast. Every year it's been falling. It was about 1 billion ounces of silver were mined every year. I remember years ago, it was about 1 billion, 1.1 billion. And then it went to under 1 billion. It was 900 million ounces. And then it went to 890 or 850. And the forecast was, I saw the forecast, they were about 0.85 billion ounces would have been mined 2025. And now we're looking, no, all the reported figures is less than that. It's almost down to 0.79 of a billion ounces. It's falling. Mine supply is falling. I think it'll be just over 0.8 of a billion ounces when we get the final figures. But it is falling because they're depleting the last of the silver. These silver mines, the easy to get to silver has been got to. All that's left is the very costly, more expensive silver that any mining executive, and you're a manager of a mine, you'll make decisions. Let's go after the easy to get to stuff first. We just want cash flow now. Look, this is easy. Why would you go for the expensive, difficult stuff too? Let's get the easy to get to. And all the easy to get to silver has been got to, leaving only the very difficult veins, the difficult deposits of silver that is very costly to get. Mine supply is falling. Demand is going through the roof. Solar panels alone in 2025 will eat up half of that. Let's just call it 800 million ounces. 0.8 of a billion ounces of silver is mine supply. That's supply. That's coming in. 0.8 of a billion ounces. 0.4 of a billion ounces are eaten up in solar panels alone. And then you've got wind turbines, hydroelectric, nuclear power stations, nuclear control rods eats up so much silver. Tens of thousands of ounces in these nuclear control rods. They're the brakes of the nuclear reactor. And there's big assemblies of these. They last about 5 years. And then there's so high level radioactive waste they have to be discarded. That's been going on since the 1950s. It's just eating up so much silver. There's been a deficit. The big bank bullion vaults used to be full up with gold and silver. The deficit, meaning more silver is in demand than is being supplied by mine supply, they've been eating up the silver from those vaults. It's been going down and down and down and down until it got to the floor. The last pallet's gone. There's no more silver in that vault. It's all been taken out and used up in industry. And gold is in surplus. Every year, gold is in surplus every year. They don't know where to put it. Those vaults are full. Oh, well, there's space in this vault because we've depleted all the silver in this vault. The space that used to be filled up with silver, they put the excess gold in there. And even then, the vault is full of gold. And they're having to build massive new vaults to hold all this gold that's overflowing. It's in surplus. While all the silver has gone, we've now got to a point where all the central banks have got no silver left, or hardly anything left. We're really scraping the bottom of the vaults now, scraping the bottom of the barrel. It's nearly all been depleted. And at the same time, the big bullion vault banks have got massive short positions of silver. They've been selling silver they haven't got. Loads of institutions and entities have been doing this. The Perth Mint is one big example. For decades, they've been saying, yeah, we sell silver, and people want to buy silver. And they say, yeah, you can buy silver and we'll send you the silver, but they have to pay insurance, delivery, and they've got to worry about holding it. And there's an option over here. Perth Mint can hold my silver for me. I pay them, and they give me the paper or digital receipt, and my silver's in their vault. Oh, I like that. Loads of people did that. The Perth Mint are lying. They haven't got any silver in the vault. They were just taking in all that currency. The big executives were getting very wealthy. Look at this. We've had another couple of million come in this month. Another couple of $1 million people are buying silver. It's all coming in. Our balance sheet's looking good. And someone said, shouldn't we be going and buying the silver that these people are telling us to go and buy? Nah, don't worry about it. Don't worry. We'll cross that bridge in the future. Don't worry about it. Let's just take the money and have parties. And they've been taking in all these funds, and all these people think they've invested in silver at much lower prices to what it is now. And now we're blasting up nearly $60. The Perth Mint have got to go and buy all that silver. And we're at the same time that all these other countries, Russia, have announced they're going to try and restock all their vaults with silver. They're trying to buy silver. China have announced we're going to buy a load of silver. And that China have announced that it's a strategic stockpile. Any silver that basically goes into China, they're very reluctant to let it out. Now, if they really do that, all the silver's just going to end up in China, isn't it? It's like a non-escape trap. Any silver that goes in doesn't come out. And there's always silver going in. Whoa, all the silver's going to end up in China. But every country should do this. America has said it's a strategic, critical resource. They're reluctant to let it go, but they're trying to buy it. And India is massively buying silver, massively talking about silver. India's breaking all records for the amount of silver they're buying, and they've said that silver is a 1-to-10 ratio to gold. Whereas the COMEX, the spot price is like 170 to 1. But they're valuing it 1-to-10. If you want to borrow against your silver, you can bring your silver to the bank and they'll give you about 80% loan to value. So if you took a 10 1 kilo bars of silver to the bank, they'll give you enough rupees. You can go and buy 8 kilos. And then you could do it again and go and buy 80% again. And you could leverage up like that. Keep taking silver off the market. If you're confident that the price is going to keep rising, which I am very confident the price is going to keep rising, you can leverage it like that. And there are ways to do that internationally. There's a company in Singapore that does it internationally. And I think there will be others soon. You mark my words. 2026, there'll be a lot of ways you can borrow against your silver. Meaning, if you choose to take that risk, and there is risk involved, do you trust the entity? You take your silver in and they will test it. Okay, it's real silver. We'll lend you 80% value to that, and you can take that secured loan. Now, why would anybody want paper or digital receipts of silver? You're not getting paid for it. They're holding your silver supposedly, and you've got this receipt, and you're not getting any benefit from it. If you've got real physical silver and you choose to lend it to someone or borrow against it, that you should get a benefit from that. And some people are paying storage accounts to store your silver. Do not do that. I say, let's wait till things settle down. Don't be renting your silver out. Don't be borrowing against it. Just wait. Soon the silver will be over 100, then it'll be over 1,000. Things are going to go crazy. We're heading into a crazy world. But this COP 2030, they're transitioning away from fossil fuels. They want to increase clean renewable. That's going to eat up so much silver. And then all the military, aerospace, robotics is getting incredibly advanced. You've got robots making robots now. Don't forget, the more technologically advanced humanity gets, the more silver is needed. And technology we've hit a whoosh. It's just going to go exponential now. The rapid increase in technological progress now. AI is just taking off. AI is learning, getting more and more powerful. AI data centers. Right, I want to talk about last Friday. I talked about it in my last video. They were ever so worried about silver. It was taken off. What can we do? We want to just put the brakes on. What can we do? Let's just stop trading. Well, what can we say so we don't, we don't panic everybody into buying silver? Let's just say the problem with the data center. Should I say it's melted down? Yeah, say it's melted down. Let's run with that. It's the most idiotic, stupid lie. They're trying to say the data center overheated. That's why they had to stop silver trading. It is ridiculous. I've spoke to several people who worked. I spoke to this one woman who worked in the team designing that data set, designing those data centers. There's no way it will overheat and the backup system won't work. There's at least 3 backup systems. The first backup system, if that fails, this is a backup system that will kick in to cool it down. And if that fails, there's a very unlikely event that you'll need it. There's another emergency backup system which will definitely kick in, and that will definitely work to keep it cool. But no, we're told that all of those failed. And even if all that happened, there are backups. There's redundancy. Another data center could start doing that. There's no way, what the lies they're telling people now, they're making conspiracy theorists out of people who would never normally be a conspiracy theorist. But either you are on. I think 9 out of 10 people would believe me that they are lying. Maybe 1 out of 10 would believe Jeffrey Christian, who's like saying, no, the data center melted down. Yeah. Nothing to see here. Look over here. In fact, it might be 10 out of 10 would think Jeffrey Christian's lying. The people Jeffrey Christian works for, they are lying. Oh, I'm going on such a rant today, but I am so excited about silver. There's going to be a lot more to follow, but I'm just picking up my wife from work now. Nice to see you. How are you doing, babe?